Howdy, friends. Steve DePoe here for the Rose Realty team. How are you this week? Everybody safe? You're back to work? We're getting close, right? We're getting close to going back to work. Texas should be open full force pretty soon, so I'm pretty psyched about that. I think Texans want to go back to work. They want to get going. They can't stand being pent up and having the government close us down. It was an important thing to do, but I think Texans are ready to go. Hey, anyway, that's my editorial. This week's this week's real estate video minute is on questions that first-time home buyers have. We work with a lot of first-time home buyers. We get a lot of really good questions, and so we kind of got a compilation of the best 5 or 6 of them, and I'm going to share those with you today. So the first question is, how much do you charge for your services? And the answer is 0. We don't charge for our services. The fee for our services, or our commission, is paid for by the seller. And so as a buyer, as a first-time home buyer, you don't pay us, you don't pay us anything. Hey, a Starbucks would be nice. But aside from that, you don't pay our commission. The seller pays our commission. The second question is, what mortgage lender should I use? The short answer to that is any mortgage lender you want. The long answer to that is, well, it kind of depends, right? You want a lender who can correctly assess your situation. That means your background, your job, your profession, and your credit history. One that can correctly align you with certain government programs. So as a first-time home buyer, we have first-time home buyer programs that some will pay you, some will give you a 0% down, some will help you with closing costs, some will help you with down payments. There are some that, depending on your profession, has programs based on your profession. So veterans, obviously, healthcare professionals, educators, first responders. These are all programs that the state of Texas has, and we want a lender who can correctly assess your situation and align you with the correct program for your particular situation. And lastly, we want a lender that can close within around 21 days. We work with some lenders that can close in from like 7 to 10 days in a pinch. So there are some out there that we kind of stay away from that are like 21 to 28 days. The 2 or 3 that we work with can close in about 21 days, and that's what you want, because potentially the seller might be under a time crunch, and they might select, if you're in competition, they might select the buyer who can close the quickest. Okay, so if you can solidly close within 21 days, we're in, right? The next question is, how do I maintain a home? I've been renting for the last 10 or 15 years. How do I maintain a house? If I had a problem, I just pick up the phone, call the landlord, bam, it gets fixed. Well, now you're your own landlord, right? And so you have to fix your own problems or your own things with the house. And so there are a couple of answers to that. First, we're going to have the house inspected by a licensed, qualified inspector. We know these inspectors, and we'll pick the good ones. And that inspector should have a booklet for you, like how to maintain your house for dummies, or something along those lines. Now, if that book isn't good enough or isn't detailed enough, there's books that you can buy, obviously, from Amazon or from Barnes and Noble, ebooks or audio books from like Audible, that type of thing. Or you can look online. You can also go, frankly, to any do-it-yourself store or like Home Depot or Lowe's and get books there on, how to build a deck or how to do plumbing or how to do wiring, that kind of stuff, right? And so the real answer is you're going to have to learn it along the way. I mean, don't take on a remodeling job right out of the chute. But there are all kinds of books and pamphlets that teach you on how to maintain a house. I was looking the other day. I still have a book that my best man gave me when I got married about home renovations. And Bill gave me this book. I think it was before we were married, and it's a book I still have today. And you'll pick these things up as you go along. I mean, it's thinking about from when I bought my first home to today, the things that I am able to do, to fix up and repair my house are just amazing. The trick is, guys, you know what? when you start a new project, you have to buy a new tool. That's imperative. So shh, keep it quiet, but that's what you have to do. Next question is will my house appreciate? That's a very good question. So a couple of points of fact. Nobody has a crystal ball, right? Nobody can tell whether your house that you're interested in will appreciate. And if you find an agent that tells you, yes, this house will definitely appreciate, I would make a 180-degree turn and run in the opposite direction. Because the truth is, nobody's for sure can tell you that this house is going to appreciate or that house is going to appreciate more. No one's really sure. Here's some factoids about the Dallas Metroplex, right? First of all, we get about 250 to 500,000 new people come into the Metroplex every single year. Second, we have a housing shortage in the Metroplex. And so add those two together means what? We don't have enough houses and we get more people coming in all the time, which means what? Which means chances are very good, very, very good that a house that you buy, that you maintain, refer to the previous question, is going to appreciate. Okay, now, if you buy a house by some industrial area in downtown Dallas or Fort Worth, it's iffy, you know. Or if you buy a house where they're going to put a highway in next door, yeah, I'm going to say not so much, right? But the truth of the matter is that most of the houses in the Metroplex will appreciate. I'm not going to give you a guarantee, but most of the houses will. We'll make sure that you pick a house that has a better chance of appreciating than one in the industrial area, the one bordering the highway. Okay, so as your agent, we're going to make sure that happens. But no one can tell for sure whether any house is going to appreciate over another house. How do I make sure I'm not overpaying is another question. Hey, they did a study in 2019 that said that the result that they found was that most first-time home buyers overpay. It's just human nature, I think, because you just don't know the situation. And unfortunately, what happened is those agents let them overpay, right? Because my commission is based on how much you pay. That won't happen with the Rose Realty team. Because what we do with our first-time home buyers, and frankly, with any buyer, is we'll give you what's called comps. And so what will end up happening is we'll take a look at the house that you want to buy and compare it against similar houses in the neighborhood or real close to the neighborhood. So you're not going to pay $300,000 for a house that you should be paying $250,000 for. We're not going to let that happen. Now, look, you're the final decision maker. We can only advise you and give you all the data and the best information that we have. You're the final decision maker. And if you're going to get, sort of caught up in it and pay $350,000 for a $250,000 house, okay, that's your decision. But we're going to give you the ammunition and the data and the information that you're going to pay market value for the house and not above. And we're going to give you that information. Another question that comes up, or a concern, is that what happens if I put a bid in on this house and we sign the contract and something better comes along? Here's the hard truth, right? There's always something better around the corner. I mean, that's just the way it goes. Any house that I bought, I guarantee you that I thought, hey, there's a better house down the street, around the corner, another neighborhood. And so it gave me kind of, I guess it was called buyer's remorse a little bit. But as soon as I moved into the house, as soon as I signed the contract, bought the house and moved in, I was happy. I was just, fat, dumb, and happy. And so the truth of the matter is, you're not going to be sure anytime that you buy a house, you think that there's going to be something better around the corner, and there probably is. But you know what? You got to dip your toe in. You got to go for it, and you just have to make that decision. You can't wait for the 100% perfect house. You know what? Because it's never going to come, and someone else is going to get it before you. So dip your toe in, let's go for it, and we'll help you with that. We can do an exhaustive search for you to find the house that's right for you. But the truth is, there's always something better around the corner, and we just have to kind of erase that, sort of thought process from our memory. That's it. Those are our 5 or 6 questions. I hope they were informative for you. Next week's video vlog is going to be 7 concerns that home buyers and sellers have after the coronavirus or COVID-19 scare. Some concerns or issues that they have, and how real estate is going to continue on after that. So this is Steve DePoe. Thanks for joining me. This is Steve DePoe for the Rose Realty team. I'm going to bounce.